My name is Noah. I live in Miramar, Florida, but every winter we leave for Colorado to go skiing and celebrate Christmas. I live with my father, mother, and younger brother Tom. My family has always been a happy one, but everything changed when we went to Colorado this winter. My mother was always a caring woman. She'd give constant hugs without any reasons, with smiles brighter than the sun. And one thing for sure, she loved her family. One very dark night, the electricity went out and darkness was thick. As any normal people would, we had some candles lit to provide us with some comfort of light. You'd have thought that people of our stature would have owned a generator, right? But that's my father's fault. His procrastination caused that. He had been promising my mother an eternity that he'd have bought a generator. We were short on candles though, so my father went and got his keys to drive in town for some supplies. Hoping that the lights would have came back by morning, I went to my room to sleep it out. About 40 minutes in, asleep, I heard my brother calling me from outside. This was strange though, as my younger brother was very afraid of the dark and his room was right next to mine. "Noah, come look at this," my brother hurled. I then got out of bed and checked my brother's room, because there was no way my little brother, who was so terrified by darkness, was outside. And there he was, sleeping like an angel. Squeak, the front door slowly opened. I quickly ran downstairs to see who or what had opened door. I went to look downstairs when I barely glimpsed my mother's silhouette going through the door. I could hear her talking. "Tom, baby, what are you doing outside? Come on in," she said. My brain went in shock as I knew that it couldn't be Tom, as I had already checked. Just mere seconds later, I heard the ear-hurting screams of my mother's voice. It felt like a knife was being jabbed in my ears. I ran to the kitchen to grab a knife or something to help my mum. As I rushed out there to what was a gruesome sight, there was an inhumane creature devouring my mother. The stench was putrid, and its eyes were as red as the devil's. Its skin was like fur, like that of a coyote, and its mouth opened wide, like around 25 inches or so. I stood there in shock, unable to move, with what was supposed to be a weapon in my hand, a knife to be exact. But against this monster, I guess a knife is useless. Flickering up to the cabin were my dad's car lights approaching. The creature then started contorting. It had changed into my mother's skin, looking exactly like her. My father pulled in the driveway and said, "What are you guys doing out here?" "Oh, hun, we were just talking," the creature said with my mother's beautiful voice. "Dad, that's not Mum. Whatever that is not, isn't Mum," I shouted. "What are you saying, my son? Stop this nonsense," it said. My father simply shrugged me off, saying I need to get back to sleep because I'm talking nonsense. I kept trying to warn him, but he simply dismissed me and sent me to my room. For nights I couldn't sleep thinking of what I'd saw. It made me squeamish thinking of my mother's screams, and how vile it was seeing that monster swallow my mother's body whole. It's been a year, and that thing acts and behaves exactly like my mum. It has all my mother's memories, everything. I've heard of skinwalker stories before, so I now had an idea of what creature it was.